So one of the things, obviously, I guess it's linked to the whole idea of how do you deliver a more consistent service, how do you get continuity going, is how technology is being used. And again, this is one of the things that we hear quite a lot from the market.
Yeah.
This kind of view of, well, we're not a difficult business to audit. Technology and the advances in technology are amazing. How are you actually using that? Or how are firms using that? And surely that should impact the way that my audit is being delivered.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it make it easier? Shouldn't it make it quicker? And I guess the reason why we bring it up is because, interestingly enough, it kind of comes back to a bit of a pain point as well. And,
Right, okay.
you know, we also hear about things like how some firms are using portals, online portals.
Yeah.
And we heard the term digital skip.
Yeah,
Where they're saying, you know, our auditors are just chucking in all of these information requests,
yeah.
and then we've got to navigate our way around this and find all this information. And in some cases, when it works well, it's great. In other cases, it's not so great. But it kind of comes under this whole kind of umbrella of, you know, we've got some fantastic technology available to us. Surely, if we're using it more efficiently, it should make my life, as in the client's life, easier.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I think it comes back to, it doesn't replace communication. So, you know, clearly we've made significant investment in tech. We use Inflow as our portal, which is a great tool, and the consistency, because every single audit we use Inflow, so everybody knows how to use it well. It's trained, and therefore that's our tool that's used for collaboration.
Yeah.
And then clearly we've made investment into digital workers and AI in certain areas as well. But it doesn't replace getting really clear in that planning meeting around how we're going to communicate and what great look, because every client will have a different view on how they want to have that communication work in terms of you know, what those touch points look like. So from a CP perspective, clearly we use Inflow to share information requests and to upload data, but we then don't use that as the only form of communication. So that, of course, is supplemented by having great conversations, and when information is uploaded into the field, picking up the phone or face-to-face if we're on site and actually talking about that. I think certainly where I've heard examples where portals haven't worked well is when they almost replace communication, and then there's no contact and it's all just through that tool.
And we hear that, don't we? I mean, like the times where, you know, we've heard examples where they said, well, the only time I get, you know, have a conversation with my audit partner is when they turn up at the end of the job, and they'll, you know, they're there to do the final bits of it. Whereas what we hear is that the market wants consistency of communication and a responsiveness as well.
Yeah.
I've always thought it's weird that, you know, when people say, well, what's Cooper Parry's USP, you know, in the marketplace? I said, well, one of them is actually we're very responsive. If you contact us, we're going to call you back. And interestingly enough, that doesn't always happen, or communication is only done through sort of a virtual channel, which kind of, if you want to work with people,
it's more fun, isn't it? It's kind of, we are a people business and working with people, so absolutely it doesn't replace that I think for me, one of the different things about CP is how we allow our partners to just focus on looking after our clients brilliantly. So, you know, you and the BD team and the origination team means that our partners aren't getting distracted on kind of that aspect of life, and therefore really allow the time to just really look after their clients brilliantly. We take admin away from them, so again their focus is just to spend as much time as they can with our clients and looking after them brilliantly. All our partners are involved right up front in terms of that audit planning meeting and really getting into that detail and attending those meetings with clients. So it's really interesting when I hear that feedback where clients say, well, I didn't see the partner until the end, and that just seems a bit crazy to me. So I don't understand why that's happening.
And especially in a world where audits are being delivered in so many different ways. So you've got the traditional sort of physical presence, hybrid approaches, and fully remote. I mean, do you think that that's impacted the way the overall way that the sort of the service experience is delivered?
I think it improves it, because from my perspective, in terms of when we're doing that, initial planning meeting with the client, when we're agreeing how do you want communication to work, we also talk about how we're going to spend time together. What does that look like? And getting really clear on, if an audit is going over a few weeks, we won't be on site for the whole 2 weeks, but we'll get really clear on, well, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are the best days for you, or avoid kind of month end and what that looks like. So I think it's enhanced the experience, because then the time that you are with clients on site is you're talking to them and you're going through the stuff. You're not sitting on site, like looking at the data or updating things on the laptop. It's for time to be spent together running through questions. So I think it's improved it.